So TMD, why is a dress code important for an interview, and what is a proper dress code according to you?
I think interview is like meeting a girlfriend if you're a boy. Obviously, the interview is a place where the employer and employee meet for the first time, and they need to make the first impressions correctly, right? Exactly where I gave you an example. Would you meet, if you're a boy, would you meet a girlfriend shabbily dressed, smelling? Obviously, then you would say that the other party will not be interested in you. Similarly, if you're a girl and you want to meet a, you will also be asked the same question that when I'm going to meet a boy, what kind of dress code I will wear. So, first is it's important to dress properly because it's a first impression. And most of us carry those first impressions in our mind. And sometimes it even changes the conversation in the interview. For example, you go to the interview and you're smelling a body odor. Immediately other party gets put off and they're not listening to you, they're trying to get rid of you from the room. So you have to be aware that it is the first meeting, you have to make the first impression and you have to make the right first impression. And that's why you need to take a lot of care in preparing and dressing up for the interview. What kind of dress is required? First, I think we should remember, you are dressing up for an interview because you want to take a job. You're not dressing up for an interview to act in a movie. Right? So the natural question is, how will people dress up after they get a job? And we should be like that. Right? For example, if the company has a culture wherein everybody has to wear a suit and a tie after they get the job, then you go to the interview with a suit and a tie. If the company is a software company where people wear jeans but little formal shirts and pants, then you have more flexibility. So the key question is, how will an employee dress up in that company where you are applying for, and then how can I dress as close to that as possible? So a generic, if you depend on the industry. For example, in manufacturing industry, you need to wear a shoe, absolutely must. So you cannot have a long hair because in the factory a lot of things are happening and long hair is not a very healthy thing. So depending on where you're joining, which industry, which role, and you again ask the question, how will they dress up when I get the job? Again the same question will come back and say, oh, after getting a job I have to dress like that, so let me dress right now, like that, right? But the general rule is a simple, hair should not be very long unless you go into very high-end IT industry job where mavericks are allowed, then hair is okay. But otherwise, comb the hair properly. And if you're a woman nicely tied up, I'm not in favor of loose hair going all over the place because it can fall on the ground when you're talking to somebody. So clean hair, clean face. That means you should not be sweating when you go into the interview. So clean up the face. If necessary, go to the washroom, freshen up, and look fresh in the face. A proper pant and a shirt, a formal pant. Formal pant means colors as formal. It can be black, it can be grey, but it can't be, for a male, you can't wear a dress which is basically pink color pant. Obviously, people say that this is not the way we wear when you come into my office, why should I love it? So, formal pant and a formal shirt. Typically, it could be a half sleeve or a full sleeve, but buttoned up properly, and therefore the shirt is also, if you're wearing a belt, wear a belt. Tuck in the shirt, I would say that, again it depends on the industry, but generally I would wear a shirt and tuck in and go into the, wear a shoe, polished shoe, and as I said, the guideline is very simple. What will happen if you get a job in the company, how are you supposed to dress, and therefore you try to do that before you go to the interview.